The most important thing to start your voice journey is to understand where you stand. Till the time you're not aware on which step of the staircase you are, you can never move forward. Assessing how your voice fits you is extremely important and relevant. In my 20s, I was thrilled to win a scholarship to study singing at the Music Conservatory in Rome. This was one of the statements of a great voice coach. It was the most perfect area. But his teacher made him aware that he is not supposed to sing beautifully. He is supposed to be expressive. He has to have expressions and micro expressions in his voice. Now the question comes, what is the difference between having a beautiful voice and having an expressive voice? Till the time you don't have an awareness about this current state and these certain nuances, you can never go forward on your voice journey. Today, in this podcast, in this episode, I will try to make you aware about certain nuances of your current state of your voice. Before we can jump into the understanding or the effect or the impact it creates, let us do some of the tips and tricks. I want you to draw a line vertically down the center of a sheet of paper. I want you to write down some of your best personal qualities on the left side. Don't qualify what you write with. Some people say that I am good with this, I am good with that, these are my qualities. Or suppose that on a good day, I'm sometimes like this. So as per the state, as per the emotion, as per the day, your qualities are changing. Don't write that. Write that quality which remains static always. Do this exercise quickly and very freely. Try to write down at least 20 personal qualities on the page. Include a quality that is secret, that people are not aware, that you know to be part of yourself, but people are not aware. List one quality that is so obvious that you haven't even thought to say it yet. Even while when I'm mentioning these things, you are getting into that thought process. I'm making you think. Wonderful. So that has also become a part of your quality now, which you were not aware, that you are getting into that phase of thinking. Amazing. And if you're nodding your head, that is itself on another level. Suppose you write qualities like I'm happy, I'm generous, I'm thoughtful, I'm loyal, I'm friendly. Choose the words that describe you. After you're done with this, the second stage is on the right side of the paper, write down the physical qualities of your current voice. You can write down instances like I have a deep voice, I have a husky voice, I have a soft voice, I have a slow voice. Choose the words that describe your voice. I think most of you have already gauged what we're trying to do. We are trying to find a synchronicity. We are trying to find a congruence that whatever your personality is, your physical personality, is it also matching with the kind of a quality of the voice that you have? So definitely when we are getting into that comparison, let's get into the comparison. Let's compare the two lists now, which is our third step. Do they relate to each other? For example, if in your first list, if in your left column, you mention that you have a physical attribute or a personality which is spontaneous, have you written something very similar to your voice in the second column? Or if you have written that you're a tough personality, is that same reflecting in your voice in the second column? Or if you mention that your voice is, if you mention that your personality is sweet, is it similar to your voice in the second column? If it is not, that means, my friends, it is a mismatch. And you are not in tandem with your voice. This helps you to become more aware about your voice quality and your current state of your voice and what exactly you want to portray. Either you have to change your personality or you have to work on your voice. And also, we're not talking about just having a static voice. keep on transitioning. As per different states, as per different contexts and different situations, you have to transition your voice in a certain manner. But the first step is understand where you stand. Now what I want you to do is, I want you to reflect for a moment on how these qualities in your first list, they can manifest themselves in your second list. That means these physical attributes, imagine them manifesting in your voice. Try to think of this thing. What will a kind voice sound to you? A dynamic voice sound to you? A focused voice, a loyal voice? How all these voices sound? What changes when you make in how you are standing, how you are moving, how you are breathing, which will help you to produce these various voices. For example, if you use the quality in the first column as generous, is that similar to the second column where describing your voice? Is your voice also generous when you talk that you have a generous personality? And if it is, what do you think are the attributes which makes you aware that you have a generous personality and those similar characteristics are there in your voice? Having this awareness, extremely important, extremely relevant. When you think of a full, rich voice with warmth in it, is that what will qualify for your voice being generous? When you use the person quality of happy for your voice, is that light, higher pitch sounds, energy in the voice? Think about these things. What I want you to do is, I want you to try out different tones of voice to match your personal qualities. Have fun, be inventive, be innovative. Think of as many ways as you can to bring your best personal qualities into the sound of your voice. Now let me prepare you for this journey. I'm sure that you want to begin developing your new voice skills quickly, easily. So in this section, I will offer you some of the favorite hints and tips to get you going. Developing your voice isn't just an intellectual endeavor. Your body has to respond well. Your body is not always responding well. If you're someone who blushes, you already know that telling yourself not to have that effect whatsoever goes into you trying to steady your trembling hands during a nervous moment. Don't do that. If you're feeling nervous, let it be there. Why is useful? There are some of the approaches that we use in neuro-linguistic programming where we help people to become aware how they can handle themselves when they are in a pressured situation. If you're in a pressured situation, feel that you are not in a pressured situation. Even if you are feeling a pressure, feel that it's part and parcel of life. It is something that I feel every day. It's not a big deal. You don't get nervous because you're feeling nervous. You get nervous because you start thinking about it. Don't start thinking about it. Everyone feels. Even the strongest speaker, when they go on the public platform, when they go onto the stage, they have those jitters, they have those butterflies in their stomach. But they believe in themselves. And they don't give a damn about the nervous energy. Convert the nervous energy into something positive. Do it right now. And have the gentle smile on your face right now. Beautiful. Now you can feel more authentic. You can feel more powerful. I want you to keep these certain points, certain tips in your mind when you are going on the journey of developing a stronger and authentic voice. The first thing is, voice work is mental, emotional, and physical. Treat these approaches as equal partners. Never rely on just a single approach. It's a multidisciplinary approach. It's not just one thing working in tandem. It's a lot of forces together. Always get into the mode of action. Try things out in practice. Don't just read. Don't just listen, do it right now. Get into the action. You will be able to bring out the benefits of whatever that you're listening on this journey with me when you start trying them out. Be curious. Whatever results you get, avoid being critical. Always try to see where your graph is going. It has to keep on increasing. Positive reinforcement is the key. Be fascinated. Tell yourself, wow, this is so interesting. I wonder where exactly my voice will reach at the end. If somehow things are not working for a while, get curious, but don't despair. Development is always uneven. Sometimes you have a sudden spurge of energy. You reach the plateau. For a while, it happens a lot. With anything that you do, any habit, any behavior, any new skill that you want to learn, you will always reach that plateau. But once you get there, don't think about it. Just keep moving forward. Just keep moving forward, keep flowing. Above all, approach the whole subject of working on your voice in the spirit of play. It's like a game. If you will not have fun, you will not feel fun. Always think in these terms. Think fun, feel fun, believe fun, and do fun. That's it. Now I'll tell you something very interesting. It's called experiential learning. How babies discover speech. If a manual for how to learn to talk to babies existed, it would be the longest manual in the world. Why? Because acquiring language is exceedingly complex. Hundreds of muscles are involved in the shortest utterance. Your vocal cords, they vibrate millions and zillions of times in a day. Your vocal equipment is molded in your first years almost like a water, wearing away a stone with millions of small impulses from your ears, from your thoughts, from your feelings, from your relationship with other people. Every healthy baby starts with a full vocal equipment. Anna Kaff, in her wonderful book, The Human Voice, explains how the babble of babies tends to include the same sounds, whatever country they come from. It's called the universal grammar, universal sounds. Little by little, they attune to their own language, their own vocal apparatus, focuses increasingly on certain sounds while losing the ability to make others. They gain the ability to talk by listening. Listening. That is what I want to give my viewers. Just keep on listening. Whatever sounds that you want to speak out of your mouth, you have to keep on listening those sounds. Babies are stupendous listeners. Tiny babies, they move to the rhythm of their mother's voice. They soon prefer her voice to any other sound. Moreover, they're incredibly sensitive to the tone of the voice. Long before they learn language, they can read sounds around them, distinguish their mother's voice from other female voices, and reacting strongly to any emotional tones in her voice. This is so beautiful. This is so wonderful. Let's begin with the nuts and bolts. Consider that your voice is a vital instrument for you in almost every part of your life. The fact that vocal training is rarely taught in school is amazing. They don't give a damn about the actual essentials that are there. That's why the education system is so crap. Okay, you do work on some aspects of communication at school, definitely. You find out about the vocabulary, you find about the grammar, but you don't explore the mysteries of the voice tone. There is no lesson on inflection, intonation, pitch, tone, tempo, timbre, segmental features of the voice, the enunciation, the articulation, the pronunciation of the sounds. Nothing of that sort is there. I have picked up these lessons on my own from my own journey. I want to mention these things for you. So there used to be this Dutch friend of mine, and her baby, she was only a couple of months old. The first meeting, I heard the mother and the baby have a conversation. She said something in a playful tone to the baby. Hello baby, baby, how are you baby? Cute baby. And she responded with a gurgle. She said something in the same tone. Now she responded in a different gurgle. Then she introduced in a different tone, up and down the voice. Following her lead, the baby started transcending the sounds. That's called the imitation technique. The baby is imitating the mother. It's the most beautiful dialogue. If you want to get into voice training, if you want to get into understanding your voice, be around babies. Just observe them, how they observe the sounds. It's very interesting. Listening and trying out new things is the best way to develop your voice. What you did as a baby is still relevant now. Making rapid progress is mostly about getting rid of these gremlins like judgment and self-criticism and self-doubt and impatience. Impatience, I tell you. All my students, sir, will I be able to? Sir, will I be able to? Sir, when will that time come, sir, when I can have a beautiful voice like you, when I can feel that power? I'm like, give it time. Time management is the key. Change management is the key. Stress management is the key. Keep on listening to your voice and keep on trying to understand where exactly you are right now and where do you want to reach and what exactly is your gap analysis. Keep on doing that. Be patient. Patience is virtue. If you put an adult into this practice, the baby has ample amount of time. They don't even think about the time constraint. But adult learning principles are very different. The pedagogy and the andragogy extremely different from the certain nuances. Before you can start on the journey of understanding or working on your voice, work on your mind first. Your frame of mind, your attitude. If you don't have the right attitude, you can never reach the altitude. Your beliefs make all the difference. When you're exploring, you're developing your voice. If you believe that you can't do something, that belief influences your ability to do it. When I stopped believing that children can be tone deaf and believe instead that every child is born to sing, I was able to teach them how to sing. Belief, identity, values, persona, needs, wants, desires, hunger, all these things are extremely relevant. Frame control. Playing is very important. So I'm using the word play. Why? Because play is about make-believe. In make-believe, children act as if something is true. They put on a belief. They put on an imaginary cloak in front of them. They enter into this magical world. This Alice in the Wonderland. This process can work for you too as you try the voice practices that I make you aware. Keep on putting yourself as if. Like, if I could do this practice very well, what would that be like? If it's this time next year and I can now do this practice brilliantly, what it feels like. Who can do this activity very well? If I step into the shoes of that person, what my experience will be? What do I know now that I don't know when I'll be standing in their shoes? If this practice was really that easy, what would that be like? If I was just playing with this practice for fun, how would my experience be different? Putting yourself in the driver's seat, extremely important. Also getting out of the seat, extremely important and relevant. Some people, they embark on a sport as a physical exercise, or passion comes later. Some mathematicians and scientists, they learn the subject as a technique at first and then they start imagining later. Many great artists, sportsmen, scientists don't do that. They start with the passion. Find your why, find your how, find your what. Find your purpose, find your hunger, find your why. Why are you doing it? What is the need? What is the want? What is the desire? Where you want to reach? Why you want to reach? How you want to reach? Talk about these things inside you. Einstein was a dreamer. Before he became a top renowned scientist. David Beckham was passionate. Messi, passionate footballers before they reach the top of their game. Speaking well relies on technique. But you improve quickest and best if you're driven by passion. Passion fruit produces amazing shortcuts. For example, you can work on 1,000 elements of technique to produce a warm, rounded voice, while 1 second of genuine heart warmth from you can produce the same sound. Yesterday I was having conversation with this wonderful person. He is a very famous Telugu filmmaker, and the way he was making me aware about the transitioning of the breath in the body makes the transition in the sounds. It's a very interesting concept of method acting. I'm planning to get him for the podcast soon. We will be getting a lot of insights from him. The main driver for improvement is your desire, your hunger to communicate. Your breathing, your vocal apparatus, it comes into play in answer to your energy to express something inside you. So although you can speak better by working from the outside in and focusing on the technique, you make bigger, better, quicker, more enjoyable gains from the impulse which comes from deep within you. And definitely always remember, the voice journey can be an emotional one, but the joy of expressing yourself authentically repays itself 1,000 times. Thank you so much for listening. In the next episode, we will be beginning with some voice basics. So all those who have not listened to the rest of the previous episodes, previous seasons, please do that, because till the time you don't have that understanding, that base, if you directly go on to listening to the next recording, it will become a bit dicey for you. And for all the people who have been on this journey with me together, thank you so much for being those ardent listeners. I'll be adding a lot of value in your life, a lot of impact, but get into the action right now. Thank you so much, guys. Take care. Bye-bye. Have a good day.